We're going to start with a moment of silence. B, would you like to offer a prayer after our minute of silence?
Okay, I'll give it a
Are you
shot.
there? Oh, you'll give it a shot. And then we'll take another 30 seconds to a minute after B's prayer to let us connect, and then we'll hear from Macaventa through Daniel, or whichever celestial is joining with us today. Does that work for you, Daniel?
Sure does.
All right, perfect. All right, let's take this moment of silence. Everybody settled in? Thank you. Go ahead, B, when you're ready.
Dear Celestials, Christ Michael, Mother Nevadonia, Macaventa, and the Melchizedeks, and all the angels, and every soul or entity that is loyal to the First Source and Center. We thank you for this opportunity to get together in this sacred space to do your work or the will of the Universal Father. Please encircuit our thought adjusters so that we may effectively come together and help raise the social status of Urantia. Thank you. Amen.
Awesome.
Good day. This is Azala, Archangel Azala, and my immediate supervisor is Mother Nevadonia of Nevadon. Her immediate supervisor, of course, rather than supervisor, is the Mother Spirit creator of the three-part Godhead. I'm here today to speak to you about consciousness. Some of you have been curious about this, and there's a great deal of articles and materials being published about consciousness on your world. It is a wonderful topic for your commercial publications to be presenting to the public. Let us begin with the beginning of consciousness. The beginning of consciousness began by the Mother Spirit of the three-part Godhead, the Trinity. Pardon me. Kind of someone honking outside. The infinite spirit is the source of consciousness. And of course, this is indistinguishable and inseparable from all other aspects of the Godhead. Consciousness is for you, it is a part of who you are. It is a part of your mind mechanism. As your mind is non-temporal and non-dimensional, so is the consciousness of the universe non-dimensional and non-temporal. you have the wonderful attribute of participating consciously in the development of your consciousness. And your consciousness is a part of the consciousness of the universe. The importance of consciousness and mind is that you can become a creator in your own stead, in your own existence. One moment. This as law. Just as homing pigeons, when released, will go to the other location that they are familiar with, so too that your consciousness and your soul and all those parts that are transcendent will go with you to will be with you in the resurrection halls. The resurrection halls have the purpose of training your mind, your conscious will mind, and your conscious mind, your everyday mind, I have to put that in quotes, to learn and to become a part of the whole of the universe, the whole of consciousness. This is the process that occurs before fusion. Those of you who are now in union with your thought adjuster and are preparing for fusion, this may occur on this planet, or it will definitely occur in the, I should not say definitely, but could also occur during your stay as a Morantial being. And over time, and over the eons, you will return to paradise to become a finalitor. And there your consciousness will be a part of the larger consciousness of the paradisical consciousness. The whole mechanism of the universe is set up for experience that goes to the creator and to return those mortal beings to the source of their thought adjuster. When you hold this in mind, no pun intended, as Macaventa might say, when you hold this in mind, you realize that your journey here is personal. It is intimate to you. And so when you stretch yourself to embrace your consciousness, you are in a way embracing the universe and your kinship with other forms of consciousness, whether it is personal, societal, planetary, or universal. Okay. There's another aspect of consciousness that has to do with your planet, has to do with the mechanics of the universe. You might ask the question, well, how is this possible? How is consciousness possible to be everywhere? And it is due to the mechanics of the universe that is quasi-spiritual and quasi-physical. Not physical in the 3 or 4-dimensional aspects of how you live your life, but in the dimensional aspects of the larger universe, which includes other dimensional universes besides this infinite universe that you live in. You see, quantum particles, are those remarkable particles that carry the pattern of the universe with them wherever they go. As you are a part of this universe, you are made of quantum particles, quanta, so that you have the potential to become embraced and to embrace the universe at large. What is limiting for you is your mind mechanism, which is limited by design. You are, because of your immature will nature as potential spiritual beings, you are seen as being very dangerous, particularly on an experimental planet as Urantia. Untrained, unfettered will, with the freedom of that such consciousness can provide, puts you in a very dangerous position. And in order to protect the universe, which we have spoken of in the past some years ago, is that your mind mechanism is limited. And although your your will decisions are sacrosanct and inviolable, nonetheless, when those wills commands are for something to occur outside the limitations of the three-dimensional universe you live in, then it is like a radio signal sent into space that no one ever hears. Yes, it's real. Yes, it does occur, but there's no connection. There's no execution as that your mind mechanism does not have the necessary accoutrements to make your will decisions effective beyond the limits of your consciousness. This may be a bit confusing to you. You're welcome to ask questions about this in the present time or in the future. You see, quanta, having the plan, the design of the universe in it, and the will of the Father in it, it becomes the carrier of God's will in quasi-spiritual, quasi-material means. It is a way that God's consciousness can be seeded throughout the universe through his creator sons and through the spiritual mother-daughters of the local universes. Now, consciousness within you and the union with quantum particles is that quantum particles carry the pattern and order throughout the universe, including in humans. Pattern and order is more powerful than mortal mind. The emphasis of me talking about this quantum particles and the designs is to assure you that you were designed to return to the Father. You were designed to become obedient to God's will. And it is not a matter of obedience and authority as being counteropposed, as countering each other, but rather that it is a process of becoming one, where you become part of God's will, active will. And so your chore on this planet through your mortal experience is to learn about social behavior, how to create peace within yourself first, and social stability with others, and peace on your planet. When you consider these as plateaus of social achievement and progress and evolution, you can realize then that much of your planet is very socially retarded and immature, unevolved. That is why there is such a focused and concerned planetary management effort on this planet to bring your societies, your civilization into its maturity slowly. Anything that Macaventa does and his team does and we do, the angelic core, must be in concurrence with that plan. And that is to bring the pattern and order to this planet. peace, social stability, social evolution, are all a part of this plan of pattern and order. This is the destiny of your planet, and this is your personal destiny as well. Thank you. If you have questions, you're most welcome to ask.
Thank you, Hazel.
Thank you, B. You have a question? Go ahead.
Hello, Azala. Thank you for being here this morning. I really appreciate your talk. I know you're probably trying to make it as simple for us to understand. I would like some clarification about the statement you offered to clarify, which was how our thoughts, and forgive me if I'm wrong, how our thoughts do not have any effect outside of this planet. Could you give some clarification about that concept?
Yes. If you listen very carefully when I made that statement, you will note that I paused carefully before I said where this will, the furthest extent of this will, and I do not recall saying the word planet. I wanted to avoid that, and I'm thank you for your question, because it is important that your thoughts, your will decisions that are benevolent and beneficent do go beyond this planet, do go out into the universe, do connect with the resurrection halls and the schools in the Urantia realm. Thank you for your question.
Thank you, Azala. May I ask a follow-up question?
Certainly.
Does this mean that the negative thoughts that occur in our individual human minds, or maybe in the planetary consciousness, do not negatively affect our neighbors?
I have a question. At the end of your question, please.
Oh, is it true that negative thoughts that are generated on Urantia are not able to have a negative effect on our neighbors, our spiritual neighbors, our universal neighbors?
The most effective place that they have is upon other mortals. That is why you gravitate towards friendly groups of people, friendly associations, friendly places where your children can play and live and stay overnight and go to school and so on. That is why good parents are selective of the friends that children have. The thoughts of others are very powerful. We do not speak often of this practice that is known as voodoo, but when it is practiced in harmony with the forces that exist, great harm can occur. We do not like to talk about that, as it is something that we do not promote, do not support, and do not acknowledge as legitimate in the universe. As far as negative thoughts and will decisions of mortals that are negative and hurtful and universally unethical and immoral, these have no effect on us. We recognize the source, we recognize the causes, but we do not react to it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, B. Thank you, Azala. Martha, you had your hand up?
Thank you very much. Thank you so much, Azala. I have the first question, which is about adult attention deficit disorder and the level of consciousness. I recently saw a program that's explained that having medication for adult attention deficit disorder is like having glasses for one's brain. And I wondered what your thoughts were about the many people in society who suffer from a certain kind of those, and whether it's useful to take medication for that, especially given the need of the whole of our move to a level of consciousness that was harmonious and at peace and focused. Thank you.
Simplify it, it's Daniel.
Simplify your question, Martha, please. One short question, 25
Oh.
words or less.
Do you think taking medication is in alignment with our spiritual search for our spiritual search for a higher consciousness?
Yes. Look around you, literally. In your own household. You yourself are wearing glasses. Okay. Yes, you are very correct, this says Asima. Yes, you're very correct. Many people of your species do have attention deficit difficulties at various levels. It is one of those mental aberrations, thinking aberrations, that has a very large and wide continuum. Some people cannot think on what to do once they tie their shoes in the morning and must be guided to their feet in the shoes first. So this is a problem for some people. Others, it is a minor inconvenience, and many people are absolutely ignorant about their attention deficit problems. And so, yes, to answer your question directly in 25 words or less for myself, yes, you're correct. It does have an effect on consciousness. It does have an effect on the mental capacity to become an active participant in consciousness, directing will, so on. Say that good mental health and the correction of attention deficit problems does help one's ascending journey. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Avila. I have a question to follow up with Martha's. This is Kona. Would you say then that the helpful medical practices of conventional medicine assisting humans to have better mental health and physical health help with our spiritual development?
Yes, within the limitations I gave in the last answer. Thank you.
Thank you. Other questions? Martha?
Thank you. Azala, I have another which is quite personal. Today I found myself at odds and almost fighting with one of the colleagues I most appreciate and love. And I'm not able to see the part of me. I saw a really ugly part of me, and I'm not clear about where that came from and why I found it so important to be defensive, or what triggered me. I wondered if you can see that part of me that I find difficult, and that obviously is not a pleasant part of the self. Thank you.
This is Daniel. The first part of your question was garbled. It sounded like there was a disconnect in the circuit or something. Do you repeat the first part?
Sorry, my line is bad. I wanted out of myself today in a conversation with a colleague that was not a pleasant part of me. And I'm not quite sure where it came from or what it is that I'm not seeing and that I need to correct. I wondered if it is something that you can see and help me to correct in myself.
Stanislaw, most definitely. First of all, I can provide you with the answer, but an answer that you struggle to achieve is much more valuable and will become a much more effective tool for your growth. I will say this in general concerning your personal situation in life and living and thinking and socially in a social association with others, is that you are going through a phase in your life where there is a need to have past injuries and difficulties reconciled, brought to a level playing field. These still rankle you and are along unresolved issues. I could be providing the same answer to all of you as you age past age 50 and 60 and 70s and so on. Some people age through the years and decades where they just simply have had it all their life and want to forget about it and don't deal with it. You are asking a very pregnant question, and the word pregnant is very important to keep in mind, is that there is a part of you that wants to birth, that wants to come out in the open and reveal itself to you so that you can deal with it. Always, always. I can say this always, all situations and mortals, is this the primary question for yourself, for your own mental, social healing, development, and evolution is this. What is it in me that reacted to this situation negatively? Remember that if you were 1,000 miles away in this afternoon and you thought about it, you would feel the same way. Therefore, something in you are carrying with you that reacts to the situation the way you did react. It's important that you incredibly appreciated by us, all of us, that you have raised this question to me today. And it is the beginning of your eventual settlement, your peace of mind, knowing that you have confidence in yourself that you're not going to blurt out something in a social situation that will be tremendously embarrassing, hurtful. Your situation is primary to the emotional social healing of your whole nation and every other nation. This is the primary question that societies must ask themselves. For example, I don't lead to astray here, but as an example, why would people have generally have a sense of xenophobia for other countries, for other people coming into their statehood, into their nation, community, or neighborhood? What is it in them that reacts this way? It's important to ask the question and seek to answer it. Now, in the seeking, this is where your thought adjuster will be most helpful. Is that you would say to your thought adjuster in prayer, or while you're doing dishes or cleaning house or whatever else you may be doing, you say, thought adjuster, I've been working on this problem and I just don't understand it yet. Would you help guide me to understand the source and what it is in me that is reacting to these similar situations? And you give thanks ahead of time. Well, my friends, if this is the secret to your spiritual growth and evolution in such intimate union with your thought adjuster, we suggest and promote that you do so. Do you have further questions, Martha?
Thank you very much, President.
Well,
Going to take a moment as facilitator to check in. Daniel, your transmission is very garbled for me. Is that the case with everyone else, or is it just my own?
It is with me as well.
It's
También para mí.
almost, it's like Martha's was before, which was
Yeah.
fading in and out.
I could hear everything, but it was definitely,
Okay, let's try it again. Daniel, say
Aberrational.
something.
Curious to see, find out the source of this problem. It kind of
Probable-
is a parallel to this question. We gotta find the
Mhm.
source of this problem.
Right, David?
Probablemente si Daniel sale de la sesión y vuelve a entrar a la sesión, mejore su conexión a internet porque se está escuchando como si estuviera dentro de una alberca.
You mind doing that, Daniel? Leave and come back?
Yeah, no, I will,
Sorry to
Leave.
disrupt Avila.
yes,
I just want to make sure we get the recording and we can hear you clearly.
Buena observación, Kona.
Thank you. Let's just take a few moments while we're waiting for him to come back and reflect on what Avila said.
Yo también tengo problemas con la conexión, así que cuando llegue Jack, o si no, tú y yo más tarde, Juan, para darte las instrucciones de cómo generar las reuniones.
Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Okay, how are we doing now? Anything
Much
better?
better.
Mucho mejor.
much better.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
All right.
Wonderful. Oh, good suggestion.
Yeah, no.
Thank you so much, David.
That's what a
All right.
facilitator does. Bob?
All right, Bob has a question now. Are you speaking to Avila, Bob?
I am.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Go ahead.
I'm aware of spectrum of consciousness, rather a kind of a scale of consciousness.
I'm sorry, Bob, come closer and speak a little bit louder, please.
Okay. I'm aware of a spectrum or a scale of consciousness in my mind. And I was wondering, yeah, I believe that's my spirit and my mind that's doing that, but is there something else involved?
The first couple of words were, this is Daniel, I didn't get, I'm aware of something. And after that,
A scale and spectrum of consciousness.
And what is your question about the scale and spectrum of consciousness, Bob?
I
Oh,
believe some of it is from my mind and spirit, but I was wondering if something else was involved, like outside.
okay. This is Azala. Your question is excellent, and I thank you for that. For the others, what Bob has been doing is to find the audience, the speakers in his mind. Who are the speakers? Who is involved? Who is present there? Who is present but doesn't speak? Who has an influence upon the whole range of activity? This is a good pursuit when you pursue it with the question what or who. Now, absolutely, this is Aslan, absolutely do not use the word why. Why is this here? That will lead you into great confusion, and it is highly confusing to the mental activity between your conscious mind and your other parts of your mind and your consciousness. Knowing that they are separate is very important. This helps you identify who is speaking, whether it is your conscious mind, the one that runs around with you all day long, thinking about lists and things to do and whatnot. It kind of holds your daily agenda. Knowing it is separate from your unconscious mind, your deeper mind, and your thought adjuster. These help greatly to avoid mental health issues, as those who are suffering deep mental aberrations cannot separate themselves from either of those entities that are with you. They are there to help you. Thank you. This is Asla. I know that my answer to you is not complete, but I would like to leave it as it is and let you come forward in another meeting where you can speak about what you have identified. Thank you.
Thank you, Macaventa. I'll bring that up with you at another time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Azala. That brings up
Asla. I'm sorry, Asla.
That's okay. Thank you, Azala. I have a follow-up question to that I have wondered, since we're discussing consciousness and mind. Is there a spiritual deficiency for people who suffer from like schizophrenia, who do not have a spiritual foundation by which to turn to spirit, that complicates those disorders or similar disorders?
You are correct. It's Asla. You are correct. Now, you certainly would have a follow-up question to that, wouldn't you?
Yes, Azala, thank you. Would people who are suffering with similar mental disorders benefit then from either being exposed to, taught, or cared for by spiritually minded people that could share that influence?
People with mental aberrations, which may be from psychosis to nervousness or anxiety and fetishes, the whole gamut can be affected by people who are near them. It is important that those who are concerned for the person who is mentally ill or disturbed, that audience project stability and order and pattern in the thinking of the individual. One moment. Urantia's mental health industry has progressed tremendously in the last 100 years and will continue to do so. As you know, the mind has an infinite capability to expand and grow and to express itself, with the proviso that there is sufficient opportunities to do so. What I am avoiding saying is that the mental health industry is very retarded, yet as it is, has not come to truly identify the fundamental elements of mental health and mental stability and its association with social stability, familial stability, and the health of families and societies and neighborhoods. These are all related. And so there is a connection that must eventually be made to persuade public health to accept mental health issues as a basis for social innovation and programs. This would take your society at least 30 years to accomplish at this time, and maybe longer, given the unstable circumstances of your world at this time. It is important that everything is done early in life for the child to build and create and integrate the diverse elements of their young mind and brain, so that they can grow into adulthood with mental stability. Yes, there are some individuals who have genetic maladaptive mechanisms for dealing with problems that are unresolvable by a young mind. You, on the other hand, can, if you have the consciousness, to speak with someone who's in the Urantia realm or a celestial teacher who is now with you from the Urantia realm. You could ask them about mental health practices and treatments there. This would be very rewarding and revealing for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Azala. That was going to be my next question, which you answered. Thank you so much. David had his hand up, and then Bob. Go ahead, David.
Muy bien, Marta, quiero que me ayudes a formular esta pregunta para Daniel.
Señor.
¿Hay algún protocolo o método que pueda sugerir Asala a un joven que tiene problemas de ansiedad para que al conectar con el espíritu, él pueda ir paulatinamente resolviendo estos problemas de ansiedad mental?
Yeah, I think it's well translated. Is there any protocol or method that you can give to a young person who has anxiety problems so that he can slowly address them in his spiritual practice?
This is Daniel. Thank you. This is Azala. There is first must be a foundation of confidence, and in the person who gives them this advice, it's protocol, and it would be helpful if the child has been witness to someone who has used the protocol in the past to assist themselves. The aspect of legitimacy is directly connected to personal confidence and then the application. And yes, there are applications for this. And these are best begun by healthy parents in the home when the child is still in infancy. Many of the insecurities of adulthood can be traced back to the early years, sometimes the early months of a person's life. And they would be totally unconscious of its influence. Answer your question quite bluntly, yes, there are protocols for assisting others, children and adults, to overcome anxieties. Thank you.
Thank you, Azala. David, did you have any other questions?
No, gracias. Muchas gracias.
Thank you so much. Bob, go ahead.
I'll make a comment and then a question. I've been diagnosed with schizophrenia, and that's because I have heard voices for a long time. To some extent, at first they were disabilitating because they were not just all celestial, they were otherwise. I have since had that sorted out in my mind and compartmentalized so it does not bother me anymore to that extent. And I now have, of course, mostly celestial voices, but I still am diagnosed with schizophrenia because I hear voices, and that's the extent of modern psychology and psychiatry. They don't recognize generally that celestial voices occur, and they have little understanding of that at all. So I'm saying that we need to kind of revitalize our psychiatric system and our psychological systems to recognize that celestial communication does occur and that it's beneficial rather than detrimental. My question is, how can we help? Well, no, how's not a good question. What can we do for ourselves to help promulgate the reality of celestial communication to the extent that is recognized as a reality to science today.
This is Asima. I want to give you the following answer that will cut through most of what you were speaking about. And that is that when you listen carefully, and as we know, you have a good mind, that you have worked on this and you have discerned what is celestial and what is not. The act of discernment comes from evidence of what is spoken about. If the voice says, go outside and stick a knife in all the tires of your neighbor's car, you would know that that was not a celestial voice. That is not a voice that would be helpful to you in your life, but it would cause you great problems. On the other hand, let's say you were seeing a child using a sidewalk chalk to solve arithmetic problems, addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. And so you came out to the house and looked to see what the child was doing, and you could see that there was an error there. And you began to teach the child the facets of multiplication and division. That would be a very good thing to do. That would be a celestial or personal suggestion of your higher mind to do good to others. As you have been taught, love is the willingness to do good for others without thought of reward. And so you can discern much about your mental health by asking those questions. Now, if the individual's mind is so warped or so damaged as not to be able to ask a question of discernment, then the individual needs to be taught that while they're still under treatment, and to explore that possibility of discernment within themselves. This is the activity of the higher mind working in union with the thought adjuster of the individual. Thank you.
Thank you, Asima. Thank you, Bob. Do you have any further questions?
That was a good answer, I believe, and that's a good general answer. And I just wanted to further my comments to saying that my discernment is, as Daniel says, seeking love and goodness rather than harm or bad things. But also, I would like to say that in the spectrum of my mind, that it's very apparent where celestials are and where other thoughts come from.
Thank you so much. B, you had your hand up?
Yes, I did. I have a comment and a question, perhaps a question, but I want to thank Bob for, asking that question, that personal question. That was very, very brave of you, and I find, and it taught me something. I often have thought in my mind, I'm not schizophrenic, I do not hear voices, but I've often wondered why people who are actively ill, untreated with schizophrenia, often hear negative voices. Voices that do harm to their lives. And it has been a theory of mine that perhaps those are spiritual voices. First, I guess my question to Asima is, does this thought of mine have any merit? Or am I on the wrong track?
It's Asima. Thank you for your statement. It helps us define and discern what is important for these sessions and what isn't. Answering the question either positively or negative would not provide you with any reward or the means to do anything about it. So we thank you, and I hope you are accepting We hope that you are accepting of this short answer. Thank you.
That's fine. Thank you very much.
Could I add something right here?
Sure,
My
Bob, go
personal-
ahead.
In my personal experience, I found that prior to the adjudication, I had much more negative spiritual input than after the adjudication. And that it was very apparent to me that there was a transition occurring there, because it was almost like night and day from what was occurring to me in the 60s and 70s and what was occurring in mid 80s and beyond. And I find that it was very apparent to my mind, and that might help me with her question. There's still some negativity about, but not nearly to the scope that it used to be.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you for your transparency and your courage as well. Any other questions for Azala today? I have one further question. Azala, this has been very, very beneficial, and the participants may want to sit with some of your statements. Will you be willing to come back and visit us again with further comment and to answer more questions?
Well, this is Azala, and in the humor of Macaventa, you don't have a stick big enough to keep me away.
Thank you so much. We love the humor of the Celestials. We appreciate the joy that you bring. Any further questions for Azala, friends? Again, thank you so much for being with us today. We greatly appreciate you.
You're most
Thank
welcome.
you. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Asma.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Daniel.
B. All
Muchas
right,
gracias, Daniel.
Thank you, Daniel and
you're
Cheryl.
welcome.
Thank you.
Hang in there, Martha.
Ah. Thank you.
Seriously. Okay, we'll chat someday.
What a
Yes.
great subject matter to bring in consciousness as it gets to, very personal things in our lives, which we are needing to heal from and grow in. Wonderful. Thank you.
All right, well, God bless everybody, and see you next Friday. All right?
Thank you,
Yes.
Daniel. Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Cheryl.
Thank you.
Melissa.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Cheryl.
Gracias.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Hey, Juan.
Bye-bye.
Hola, Marta. ¿Cómo
Hola,
estás?
Juan, ¿cómo estás? Muy bien,
Yeah.
gracias, señor.
Me alegro mucho.
So that's a lot to take in, and I don't want to transition too quickly. So let's just take a few minutes to just absorb, personally reflect, take some time if you want to discuss the material that was presented. Martha.
Thank you. There's a beautiful saying that a Mexican friend of mine told me that said, every one of us has a repugnant part of the self. We become bearable by loving each other. And I saw my repugnant part today in a conversation with our finance manager. And I got very upset because they wouldn't pay two people. Good goodness gracious, very little money. Today they wanted to wait 2 weeks for paying people who are really poor and can't wait weeks. So I got very upset, and I saw a really unkind part, and I saw the response the person I most love in my organization had to it. And it was really difficult to see. And it was difficult to see the part of me she could see. So I know this is healthy. I know it needs to happen, but it's deeply uncomfortable. So that is my
Thank you also.
reflection.
Can I
Thank
make
you
a
also for
comment on
your
that?
transparency. Sure, go ahead,
You are-
Bob.
I think there's such a thing as righteous indignation. There are some times when, not that you have to be short with a person, but you can be strong with a person, expressing your views that you don't agree with their opinion, if it's going to harm someone else if they stick to that opinion.
Thank you for that, Bob. I was thinking somewhere along those lines. Righteous indignation will sometimes creep in, as we saw with Jesus many times, dealing with Pharisees and people who are unreasonable. So maybe give yourself a little bit of grace as you explore this, Martha.
Thank you. I wanted to talk about the feeling, the level of I know it was so clear, the emotional triggers were so clear that it was not the normal person that I am. It was an unpleasant person, an unpleasant part of the normal person. So
you had a Kona moment.
I had an all human being moment, yes.
Kona moments are real, people.
We all have those moments, Martha. And I think you have this is sort of a indirect compliment, but you have very high standards for yourself. So that's good. That's good, actually. That's good. I think that's really great.
It is good to have high standards, but sometimes you have to be stronger than you normally are to accentuate positions that are actually righteous in their nature.
And you also have to forgive you. Like, even if you did do something wrong, even if it wasn't righteous indignation, I think that you need to forgive yourself. That's the first step to improvement. Is to accept where you are and forgive yourself, and then allow yourself to improve.
And I guess the
Examine,
understanding. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I interrupted.
It's okay.
I was just going to say that examining is to understand what is happening before you forgive yourself. You have to know what you have to forgive yourself for.
Mhm. And that's what I was going to say is examine the situation thoroughly, examine the emotions.
Yeah.
And what
Yeah.
Azala was saying is examine what inner trauma might have triggered this.
Yeah.
And then go through that process of forgiveness. And
Yeah.
when you do that, and if there is that inner trauma, sometimes you have to go back in time and identify other persons that might have been involved in creating that trauma and go through a deeper forgiveness process of those people.
Yeah.
David.
Marta querida,
Sí, señor.
obviamente, como dice Vi, todo eso nos ha pasado a todos nosotros. Pero recuerdo una frase maravillosa que te quiero compartir que dice, el lodo no se nota sobre el lodo.
Mud is not noticeable on mud. Oh, beautiful. Mud is not noticeable on... What does that mean? It has to be on something clearer.
Exacto, que como dice Jesús, tú ya estás limpia. Solamente te hace falta sacudirte y lavarte los pies del polvo que recoges en el camino de la vida. Esto es polvo solamente. Te lavas, te perdonas a ti y continúas tu camino.
Beautiful. Thank you. Yeah.
Lovely.
Mis hermanos, me da mucho gusto verlos. Tengo problemas con la conexión, pero estaré pendiente para que cuando terminen su sesión pueda yo participar con el tema de la programación de Zoom. Así que, Juan, en cuanto sea posible, si quieres, mándame un WhatsApp y me vuelvo a conectar.
Okay.
May I
ahead,
also
Martha.
ask, thank you, David, may I ask if you will join us to look at the fundraising proposal for Yoam that we want to send in today? The last day is today. Do you have time after you've done the Zoom?
¿Hay una reunión para eso el día de hoy, Marta?
We were hoping to do it after this one because it has to be in today.
Ah, ok.
We were hoping to stay a little bit longer, if you're available.
Puede ser, estoy
Ah.
trabajando en el boletín de Joan, básicamente, estoy muy avanzado en eso, pero si les parece podemos dejar la reunión dentro de 1 hora.
Okay, perfect.
¿Es bueno?
Yeah, in an hour. So we can meet up in an hour after this is finished.
Ok. Yo les
After you've done
envío,
the Zoom.
sí, si tú me
Thank you.
mandas un WhatsApp, yo envío la reunión.
You'll send,
Aproximadamente dentro de 1 hora.
Thank you.
so
Thank
David,
you.
will you send us a fresh invitation to join you for me, you and
Yes.
Martha?
Sí,
that
es
what we're
correcto.
doing?
Yeah, he'll do
Okay.
that.
Okay, all right.
Thank you so much,
Okay.
David.
All right, B?
I just have a question about if there is any relationship, or will there be any relationship between Friday's team and the new YOAM organization? Not new, and
So-
with the YOAM organization.
Sure, thank you for that question. Currently, you know, we were exploring that possibility, but Daniel has made it clear so far that he did not want Friday's team absorbed into MU. Now, I have not spoken with Daniel about where the two organizations stand at this point. I don't know if he has a different perspective. So if you don't mind just leaving that suspended at the moment. We
Okay.
were hoping to work with the it's Wednesday, Friday, Sunday design team, you know, about developing materials, but I need to further discuss that with Daniel to see what he says. He's going to be joining us on Fridays, as he did today, with particular messages. I don't know if everybody had a chance to review the email, a tentative type of schedule where we're working on Sundays, we'll work on the design team process. Wednesdays have been really hard, and honestly, I now have 0 days without something on my calendar. And so I don't think that that is healthy. And I'm gonna have to figure out, you know, what works. I might have to just take Thursdays as a personal day. So because of my commitments with Donna D'Angelo and the prayer meetings there.
Muy bien.
David?
Me despido, Vi, Bob, Juan, bendiciones. Hasta
Thanks,
pronto.
David. See you soon.
Everything the
Okay.
best, David. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye, Dave.
Bye,
Dave.
everybody. Take care.
Oh, is it the end of our meeting?
No, it's not.
No,
David's leaving.
David's leaving.
Yeah,
Okay,
because
okay.
he's leaving because he doesn't participate in us mostly now. He's very much concentrated on YOAM, and we as YOAM are working on a grant proposal that is due today. So I know I'm distracted. I don't know if Martha's distracted. The
I'm
last thing that
distracted,
you're distracted too. The
Yes.
last thing that we worked on as a team on Sunday was to complete the design team checklist, not really a checklist, but table. And we had talked about how we're going to integrate process. Then we received the communications from Daniel that he thought it was done, which, you know, when we were thinking it wasn't quite done, we were going to work on the process. But then he also wanted for us to look at that process and see how it could be adapted for young people. So we can do that together in group. But again, I'm a little distracted today.
Oh.
And then, and so I'm not quite prepared to do that. Martha?
May I suggest that we only spend half an hour to complete today's session
Mhm.
so that we can have time to finish the thing that has to be in today and also have time for David to teach. Is David going to teach Jacques or Juan about the Zoom?
I think Juan.
Okay.
Es después de esta sesión. Cuando termine,
See, so if we finish this at 6:30, then David can come in for half an hour and work with Juan,
Okay.
if that
Okay.
works.
Okay, so I'll pull up the document that we were working on and let's just do some brainstorming about how it might be adapted to younger
Absolutely.
people, let's say teens. Give me one moment.
Kona, may I start with an idea that's popped into my mind?
Sure.
I was just thinking, having just spoken to my son and seeing how he spends his time, that we have to use the technologies they are using to get to them. So we have to use all the same, I don't even know all their names, but obviously the chat rooms and things they are using
Like
to talk to
TikTok-
each other and to
TikTok,
play
all that.
games together. Hello? Bob,
Yeah,
was
you're
that
here.
you?
I just said like X and TikTok and all that.
Mhm.
But not only that, the actual tools they use on their phones when they don't use WhatsApp.
Mm-hmm.
They have other platforms that they communicate with each other on their phones.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so obviously TikTok and X, but I'll ask him about it. But so we'll have to move.
That's a good
to
idea. And we need to
teenage
find out
platform.
what they use mostly here in the States as well. So.
Absolutely, yeah. Okay, so we'll both find out.
Let's see. I'm looking for the one.
Where you have added B's one, right?
I did, but I was looking for the one that you corrected the
Let me
formatting.
just go. Let me go.
This one, oh, maybe I haven't saved it from your email. No, I did because I pulled it up.
Let me see if I'd saved it. Can you just tell me what the name is? If it comes up, then I'll quickly go to.
Well, I have it as DT Simplified Training Steps
Oh,
and last
okay.
modified on 8/11, but the formatting is not correct on here, although it does have B's information attached.
Let me quickly have a look.
You know, we really need somebody like your son to sit with us. How can we determine what's going to work for a 14 to 18-year-old when none of us are?
Absolutely, no, we do.
We're 3 generations away, 2 generations away from that group of people.
Absolutely, he's just left to the gym. Otherwise, I'd ask him to sit down. Okay, let's see if the simplified training steps. This one, let me see. May I share quickly and see if this
Sure.
is it? I'm not sure if this is a I'm just going to see if B is at the
It is.
bottom. Oh, well,
Oh,
not this
yeah.
one. Okay, so it's not.
Okay, so then I'll share mine.
Yeah, please
It
share
has
yours,
these
yeah.
at the bottom.
Yeah.
Okay. Oops, not that screen. Let's try again. Oh,
Can I say something?
sure.
Hay un
I just
documento más
asked.
avanzado que ese.
Hang on one second, B.
Yeah.
Juan, what was your?
He says we have
I
a further document.
So we have this, and then we had this added. Is there one after this one we did that I'm not pulling up?
El que yo tengo no tiene ese. No tiene esa parte.
Okay, no, then this is the latest one. Yeah. It's just that he and
Okay.
I had worked on one. So I think what you need is I have to send you out the edited version, and you then just have to add this to that. Let me look for it.
Okay, and then do you have that in Spanish as well? Because I
Yeah,
know this top part had been translated into Spanish.
yeah. I'm going to send it to you right now in English and Spanish. I'll send it to the whole group.
Okay,
Okay.
perfect. I'll just close this one. Close that.
Una pregunta.
Yes.
¿Recibieron el Miro? ¿Recibieron el esquema?
You've
Voy a
just sent
compartir,
it? Yes.
voy a compartir la pantalla un momentico.
Juan wanted to share the screen for a second.
Sure.
Okay.
Oh, this is what you sent in the email during transmission, Juan, right? Oh, something different. Okay, perfect. Oh, wow.
Oh,
Por favor, ok, hice la parte superior, que es exactamente lo que hemos hecho hasta este momento. Faltan las dos columnas de B, que serían en este lado. Y en la parte de abajo dejé espacio para hacer el process praxis, ¿ok? De cada uno de ellos. ¿Qué tal
Can
la
you,
explicación?
in the top right, compartir, can you share that with us? Top right blue?
¿Quién me habla a mí?
So everyone has access to it. Can you explain more of that?
Cualquiera puede tener acceso. B creo que todavía no lo tiene. Voy a compartirlo con B.
It's the top, yeah, right there. Oh, but
Algo
can
malo.
you
Okay.
copy the link
Yes.
and email it?
Está en el chat.
Okay, let me see if I can pull it up then. One moment. Okay, so I've requested access. The owner approves the request, you will receive an email notification.
Lo está pidiendo ahorita. Déjame ver el correo.
This is one thing that we should add to our funding request,
To our funding request?
to our budget. Mirror
Yeah.
subscription for at least 10 people. I'm going to be
Listo.
real transparent. I have been up since 4 a.m. and I am crashing and I need to do some self-care before I come into the meeting with the rest of you. I need the next 45 minutes so that I can be ready to meet with the rest of you.
Okay, so do you want
so that,
to, do you want
we
to
only have
leave?
15 minutes. Yes.
Yeah.
If you guys would like to discuss, I'm going to leave and then David's going to send us another one. I'm getting overwhelmed.
Yeah.
I'm trying to avoid a panic attack.
Absolutely.
So I need to go relax before I meet with you guys. Too much of the brain.
Perfect.
All
Absolutely.
right.
Mm-hmm.
I will leave
Bye,
you
Kona.
all in your put together. Love you all. All right, I'll see you
Been
soon.
great
Bye,
having you.
Bye,
take
Kona.
care.
Take care.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye.
Ah, se fue Kona.
Alrighty.
So, Juan,
Ok, sí, tú lograste el acceso a Miro.
yeah,
Ok, no hay problema, entonces por eso. Le voy a enviar
Yeah, so-
le voy a enviar la invitación a
a
B
B.
y a Bob, para que, pero no
Yeah.
ahorita porque no, es un proceso más o
Yeah.
menos.
So, okay, so here it is. Thank you so much, Juan. It's excellent work, but we will obviously need more than 15 minutes to do it. So, shall I just take the facilitation for a few minutes while we finish thinking how we can work with the others to finish that document that we had started with? This document, the simplified training document.
Ok, habría que crear las dos columnas que hacen falta de B,
You're going to do it, yeah?
pero no sé si podría hacerlo yo en este mismo momento.
So Juan, quickly explain to me, which two columns do you want to create?
Déjame ver que no te entendí.
Because we have so few.
Dos columnas que adicionaron al documento que tiene que ver con lo que escribió B.
Okay. So that doesn't, so yes, she'll have to send us that version, but she hasn't yet. So this one just finished. B was just using, am I right, B? You were using AI?
That's correct.
Exactly. So we put it separately at the bottom. What we wanted to do now is quickly decide how look at every step from the top and say, how would we adapt it for youth? And if you want to, we can put another column. We can put a
How
column.
about we bring this to a social studies teacher at high school level and ask them?
Marta,
Yeah.
¿podrías traducir por si
Sure.
acaso?
B preguntó, ¿por qué no llevamos a un profesor de estudios sociales en el colegio de jóvenes para que ellos nos puedan decir?
Sí, cómo
So,
se adapta a los jóvenes.
yes, I think it's an excellent idea and we can definitely do that. But should we also quickly say how we can do it for youth ourselves? Okay. I'm just going to write here, adapted for youth. And so to define the team objectives, would they be different for youth?
Well, they would have to pick a topic. Well, first of all, yeah, they'd have to assemble the team just like we have, and then decide which topic they want to work on, because there are many topics.
Would it not be that we need to create an opportunity for them to meet with their peers?
And that's why I suggest approaching the social studies teachers, because maybe this could be a project for them.
Mm-hmm.
at school.
Great idea. Great idea.
Okay.
I mean, it'd
Perfect.
probably be at the grade 11 or 12 level, but you know, I mean, the best way to find out what is going to land with them would be to ask them.
Okay. So all the rest would be the same. So all we're suggesting here is that we're going to use, okay. Any other comments for this column?
There is a number 1 there that has, oh,
Should I
that's
take that
adapted
one?
for youth. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, it's changed. Let's go. It's like this. Sorry. Sorry. Okay.
Okay.
Step. I'm just going to say step. And this would be description and adapted for youth. Okay. Approaching social studies. Okay, so I just say approach social studies teachers at. Okay. I would also say create opportunities, because most youth would not have the chance to meet with their peers in this way unless there was an opportunity created for them to do so. To meet and identify priorities and concerns, concerns. Okay. Anything else we want to add to the first one? Can you see it becoming dark behind me?
Actually not.
No,
You can't.
it still looks light.
Still looks
Yeah.
right, yeah.
Okay. So select team members and strategic recruitment. Diversity of skills.
I think that if the high school teachers could actually do this as a class assignment or as a class experiment.
Yeah. Okay. Shall I put this in this column and this?
I guess that would be the creation of the opportunity.
But so what should go in this column where it's about selecting team members and strategic recruitment? Well, I mean, just say use as an experiment. Okay. And I would put in here at the beginning phase, identify communication, identify common identification tools. What do you call social
media?
Social media tools preferred by teenage or preferred by children, preferred by youth.
Yeah, I just asked ChatGPT that question.
And will you? You haven't done so already.
Yes,
okay.
I have.
Yeah, and the answer?
The answer, well, yes, their iMessage, which is associated with Facebook. Oh, sorry, no, iMessage is associated with Apple. They did mention WhatsApp, TikTok, but they also had Snapchat. That's another one I forgot.
Snapchat, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Snapchat's very common, and there was something called Discord, and there was something called
Discord,
Be
as I know,
Real.
also. Yeah, that's what my son also.
Heard of that one.
Yeah, and Be Real.
Be Real. Okay, let's try. So just mention them again, and I'll ask my son as well. So it's WhatsApp, Snapchat, Discord, Be Real. The first one was iMessage. Okay.
Yeah, iMessage, but that's just associated, I think, with Apple.
Let's put it down here, but that's okay.
There's also Instagram, but Instagram is not really a group
Yeah.
setting. I don't think. I don't know how to use it as a group. You can WhatsApp you can use as a group. Discord I'm not that familiar with. iMessage you can use as a group. Be Real. Oh, and there's a number 8 is Group Me.
Group me?
Is that Group Me? Yeah, Group Me in one
Are they all
word.
one word? Yeah. Is Be
Yeah.
Real also one word? Okay.
That's right.
Okay. Great. So those are okay. We're
It
getting
says
some.
Group Me. This app is used for group messaging and is especially popular for organizing events or staying in touch with larger group of friends.
Perfect. Okay. So then all of those will perfect be the same. Juan, cualquier cosa de ti?
No, no tengo comentario ahorita.
This is more complex because how would teenagers bond when they actually just know each other over internet? You know, how
Marta.
would you, what? Yeah?
Sí, yo pienso lo siguiente, ¿no? Que el esquema que hemos hecho, los 12 pasos, es un esquema aplicable a cualquier situación y adaptable a cualquier situación. Creo que la idea de implementar eso primero en una escuela sería muy interesante. Hacer el experimento, ver qué herramientas se usarían, cómo se formarían los grupos o el grupo, y etcétera. Entonces, yo considero que el esquema que hemos hecho es un esquema general, marco, para que sirva para los demás proyectos que tengamos por hacer.
Pero no piensas que podría ser diferente con los jóvenes, que hay que pasar por todos los 12 pasos y mirar cómo sería diferente para los jóvenes.
No, claro, el esquema es totalmente adaptable. Pero lo que yo digo es que siempre se tenga como marco el que hemos hecho.
Ya.
Dejarlo original y después adaptarlo a cualquier situación que tengamos que hacer.
So he just wanted to remind us that we use this 12 steps for every situation and that we just then adapt it to every different situation.
Mm-hmm.
Pero tú no piensas que vale la pena ir uno de 12 a 12 y poner algo en cada parte de la columna?
Sí, sí, bueno, esa es la parte de la adaptación. Por ejemplo, en el esquema que yo hice en Miro, en la parte de abajo está para adaptarlo a cualquier situación, donde dice praxis.
Yeah.
Está para aplicarlo entonces en esa situación de jóvenes, por ejemplo.
So do you want us to stop doing it here and do it on Miro rather? I think Juan is telling us that it makes more sense to do this exercise that we're doing here and do it directly on Miro.
Okay.
Do I get you correctly, Juan? Tú
That
dices que
makes sense.
ejercicio hay que hacerlo en Miro.
Sí. No, Marta, no necesariamente. No necesariamente. Podríamos seguirlo haciendo así y yo después lo paso a Miro, ¿verdad? Pero la esencia, lo que quiero decir en sí es que siempre nos vamos a guiar por los 12 pasos originales y esos 12 pasos vamos a hacer un esquema nuevo sobre esa base para adaptarla a cada situación especial, ya sea para los centros de aprendizaje, ya sea para grupos escolares, ya sea para jóvenes, ya sea para adultos, niños. Tenemos que pensar en todos esos niveles de crecimiento del ser humano. Vamos a proseguir haciendo el trabajo que estamos haciendo y disculpa que lo haya interrumpido en eso, ¿no? Vamos a seguirlo haciendo y después yo lo paso a Miro y se presenta un trabajo final ya de eso. Pero por el momento vamos a seguir trabajando con esto.
I think, thank you so much, Juan. I think what's happening is that my preference, because I don't know Miro so well, is to finish the job quickly because we were given until past, which is now there. So I wanted to go quickly here rather than start on Miro, which is much more, we would need, there's a learning curve that obviously needs to be done, but I see that's my bias. I was going to do it this way because it was quicker for me than starting and learning the technology of Miro. So that was useful, Juan. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So shall we
Before we
take?
end real quick, could I say something?
Certainly, please do.
I just want to say back up a little bit about bonding. I don't know about kids bonding online, but I know we have bonded, the four of us have bonded online with the emails we've had, with all the interchanges we've had and all the time we've had together on Zoom meetings. I feel the four of us have bonded well with spirituality and with our own natures with each other. I believe that we've bonded quite well.
Thank you very much, Bob. And I would agree. And you are so new in this group, although you've been with the CTAG for so long and prior to that. But it is true that Zoom allows one to bond.
I agree.
And see the
Igualmente.
strengths. And Juan, I mean, we've also seen your strengths. I've learned a lot from you, Bob, and certainly we've seen B over a long time. So it's just been wonderful to see the wisdoms of each person.
Okay, so are we going to continue a
Shall we-
Sunday meeting? Or?
I think we are going to continue on Sunday. Is it possible for you on Sunday or not?
I will try. I might be able to attend for 1 hour.
What
Okay.
hour would that be on Sunday? Can you, isn't it funny?
Your local
B,
time
what-
would probably be 5 p.m.
The same as when we start today, yeah? 5 p.m. suits me perfectly. 1
Like
hour
I might
at
be able
5
to do an
p.m.
hour, yeah, from
Yeah.
11 till 12. And then
Okay,
my
so
son
it's
has
5
basketball at 12:30.
Okay. 5 p.m. on Sundays. Does Sylvia T?
right.
Oh, where's my pen that works?
Are we still recording, by the way? No.
We are, I think it records whether we want to or not, because it's David's computer.
Okay.
What time zone are you in, B?
I think this same as most. I'm the same as Kona and Juan and David. We're on Eastern Standard Time.
Oh,
Or
you're in
Eastern
Standard
Daylight,
Time. I
Eastern
thought you were in
Standard.
Western Canada, not Eastern Canada.
No, I'm in Ontario,
Ontario.
near
Okay.
Toronto.
Oh, near Toronto. Okay,
I was born in Saskatoon.
No, interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I was born in
Cool.
Western Canada, but I've spent most of my life now in Eastern and Central Canada.
Okay, so it's 11 o'clock your time. It'd be 9 o'clock my time. I'm Mountain Time.
Okay, you're Mountain.
Sorry. What time is it for you, Bob?
Right now,
9
it's
a.m.
about 10:30, 10:36.
So it would be 9. It would be 9 your time.
9, yeah, 9 a.m.
9 o'clock my time.
9
yeah.
a.m. for Bob, 11 for Juan, and
12.
B. Oh, it's 12 for you.
Ah, no,
Oh,
no, 11, es 11.
11. Okay, 11 for Kona and B. Okay.
okay. And what about David? I think is he also EST?
I think
David
he's
es
slightly,
2 horas
he's an hour
antes.
different. Oh, 2 hours before. Oh, that's too early. That's 7. But he
Oh.
doesn't he doesn't attend them.
Okay.
David doesn't attend these. Okay. Oh, it's the same as it is for him today. I think it's 2 hours later. Yes, Juan?
Quería comentar acerca del bonding.
Yeah.
Bueno, el hecho de que estemos aquí reunidos los 4, y a veces somos 5, 6, 7, es porque tenemos algo, un pegamento ya entre nosotros. Hay algo que nos une. La forma de pensar, la forma de sentir, la forma de expresar el amor incondicional y la aplicación de los 7 valores. Es lo que nos mantiene unidos y somos uno. Aquí la opinión de cada quien es válida, tan igual como la de otro. No hay un liderazgo sesgado, es un liderazgo compartido, porque así como de repente no está Kona, que es la facilitadora, tú puedes serlo, o un día lo puedo ser yo, o puede ser el B, o puede ser Bob. Somos iguales, no nos sentimos mejores que nadie. Y yo creo que eso es exactamente lo que se busca de un grupo, que podamos compartir nuestras ideas sin ser agredidos por nadie. Compartir nuestras palabras, nuestros pensamientos, sin que tenga el temor de ser bulleado, hacer bullying por alguna cuestión. Entonces yo creo que este grupo consiguió ese objetivo, el bonding, el pegamento, la vinculación. ¿Por qué nos reunimos todos los días que nos convocan? Por eso, porque hemos conseguido como grupo algo que no cualquiera lo tiene. Y me felicito y lo felicito a todos por esta gran labor. Bob es el más nuevo y fíjate que el más nuevo en el grupo, ¿no? Y fíjate que ya es parte de nosotros, ya lo sentimos en nuestra carne, en nuestro corazón. Así que bienvenido de nuevo, Bob.
And what do you
Gracias.
say, Martha?
That was very beautiful. He was just saying he wanted to say something about bonding and the glue that already exists between the 4 of us. And he said, even though you are new, already he feels you in his heart. And I must actually look at the translation, but in his, in his heart and his bones, in his skin or meat. And, so I just think it was lovely to and he just wanted to say welcome again to you.
Thank you, Juan. Gracias, Juan.
I think
beautiful.
I think the strength of our group is that we are comfortable sharing our real selves with each other without fear of judgment. And I think that is so important to bonding. I feel that there is some kind of a trust between us. Because some of the things that I've shared personally, I don't share with everyone, right? But there's a certain comfort level and trust, I think, amongst the people in this group. I was going to suggest one thing. One thing came to my mind about the design team process that we haven't dwelt on, and that is, should we add or add a section for conflict resolution? Should that be a thing?
I think
Absolutely.
that's always a good idea.
It seemed to have been
I
a
just want to
problem in
quickly put
the
that-
MU group, that there should be certain principles of conflict resolution, and perhaps even like if there are, say, few members for a certain idea and other members not, maybe there should be an idea of a vote with a certain quorum, just like other meetings.
Yes, I just want to see where it fits. You see, this one, it would fit a number 6. I was just thinking, where would it, the whole thing of implement effective work processes for a learning community group or organization, that conflict resolution would be one of those.
Okay, I think it's important because I noticed
Yeah.
it's all
Um,
part of that, you know, discussion versus dialogue that Kona.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I just
Conflict
have to
resolution.
I just have to
Yeah.
step out for a moment.
Okay. And we also were supposed to have finished so that Juan can speak to David. So
Okay.
if we're,
Why don't we end this today and carry
yeah,
on?
let's end this today. Then Juan can continue with David. I'll give him a call.
Okay.
And then, but we were just getting started, I know. Thank you so much, B. And
That's okay,
mediation
that's okay.
skills. I'll just put this here and translate it into the Spanish. Okay. Many thanks.
Learn and
Muy bueno.
use, I think. Learn and use.
De verdad que esa era una lagunita que había y está ya resuelta.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, I'll say goodbye to you all. Have a great, I'll
Bye-bye,
see you in
take
some
care.
of you in a couple days.
Bye.
So
Now you can
Bye-bye.
see the
Okay,
dog.
okay, B, have a
Bye-bye,
good
take care.
weekend
Yeah.
until then.
Yeah.
Have a wonderful week and see you on Sunday at 5. Thank you.
Yes.
Take care. Bye-bye.
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 I'm
Bye.
going to start sharing.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye,
Yeah,
Bob.
goodbye,
Take
all.
care.
Chao.
I'll quickly. Bye, B. Love to your son.
Yeah, no, thank you. And yours as well. To
I'll
you
tell
all.
him.
Bye-bye.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Ok, Marta, ¿cómo estás? Voy a ver si dejo de grabar.
Sí, David está. Sí. ¿Tú crees que David no sé, hablar directamente con Juan o no? ¿Con Jack? Dame un segundo.
Yo creo que sería mejor porque Jack es el dueño de la cuenta.
Entonces no vale la pena que él hable contigo, sino
Porque
que...
sí, con Jack directamente.
Sí, pero Jack no está aquí en este momento.
Pero ya estará la próxima vez. Lo que pasa es que si Jack no me da acceso en el momento que yo entro, no voy a poder entrar. Porque el sistema pide por cuestiones geográficas, pide un código de verificación que le llega al correo de Jack. Y si Jack en ese momento no está disponible, es igualito, no voy a hacer nada. ¿Estás oyendo?